Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here coming at you again with another video, and I am over on my little test server here to show you a really neat little setup right here. And this is an automatic extraordinary kibble farm where you only have to leave your base to get meat, and if you there is a way to avoid that as well. So basically this is a way to successfully never stop producing, just a never-ending supply obviously, of extraordinary kibble, which can be used for any kibble. So a lot of people don't realize that. It's actually probably one of the easiest kibbles to make, and all you have to do in order to make it is to literally just have all these dinos and everything that I have here. So anyways, if you haven't hit that like button or left a comment below for the algorithm, that would be awesome. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. It helps me out, and hopefully this helps you out too. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. That's the only plug I got. Basically what you're going to need is everything you see surrounding me right now. You're going to need a set of Deinonychus with a pair, I guess literally, so you're going to want 4 females to 1 male, and that's kind of just how they work. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set them. It doesn't actually change too much, but you do want to be able to have control over picking up the eggs at the right time. So what I like to do is I'll enable mating behavior, and then I'll copy settings to the nearby Deinonychus, and it will cause all of them to start mating at the exact same time. And obviously, if you're a little bit out of range like this one is right here, you might have to just get them just a little bit closer. You can use a whip if you really want to, and just get them nice and close. They're all breeding. Now, obviously, I don't have them quite close enough, so I'm going to go ahead and make that happen right now. But you want to get their eggs. That's literally what you're trying to do. You don't really care too much about how they look as long as the eggs are going to be the consequence, because a fertilized Deinonychus egg is an egg that quite literally is usable for any kibble, which is very, very useful, obviously. So in order to get that to work, basically what we're going to do is we're going to get these guys nice and clustered. There we go. Now they're actually doing that breeding thing. So that's the first step. So each one of these eggs is going to produce an egg a day. So the more Deinonychus you have, the more ability you have to produce a larger number of eggs. And obviously those eggs are going to go into here, and basically you're going to put them into your extraordinary kibble area. Now, you're also going to have access to a domesticated beehive, because it will naturally produce honey over time for you, which is highly, highly useful, obviously. And that's step number 2. Step number 3 is you're going to need a couple of sets of these farms, if you want to call them that. I usually use 4 per berry type. You're going to need access to narco berries, mejo berries, azul berries, now, or azul berries, whatever you want to call them. The reason that you need that is because you need to make Lazarus chowder also. Lazarus chowder, mejo berries, obviously, simple solution right there. And then you're also going to need access to the extraordinary kibble. See that's that right there. All your mejos are ready to go. Now, that's how I do it. You don't even need azul berries. I forgot about that. So it's just narco, mejo, narco in your sets of 4. And then over here, you're going to need access to those 4 different main crops that you're going to be able to use in order to make the Lazarus chowder. And just so you can see, those are your long grass and your sava root. Now, obviously, that means we have everything. The only thing you would need to farm at this point would be the meat. Now, by getting the meat, literally that's the last ingredient that you actually have to run out and get. You can create a Phiomia farm if you don't even want to leave your base and you feel lazy like me sometimes. Fiber is also one thing you'll have to leave, but because it's so easy to get, I don't really count that something, because it only uses 5 per actual kibble. So you see that these Deinonychus just gave birth again to their lovely little eggs for us, so we have to appreciate that. That one gave birth to a chocolate, great. But you can see that they're continuing that breeding process. Now, inside of here, we're going to go ahead and grab these eggs. And if you do have your breeding settings turned up, like I do right now, they'll just keep producing them. And if you have a S+ hatchery, it'll pick it up. But if you're on official, what you want to do is you want to make sure you go over to the Deinonychus that was breeding, turn breeding off, and then apply it to all nearby Deinonychus. And that'll prevent them from breeding until you're ready again. Now, you can have 20, 30 Deinonychus doing this all the time to increase the amount of kibble that you have, but that's just, you know, it depends on how much kibble you want to make. So you can go as fast as the Deinonychus produce the eggs, because all of this stuff is automated over here, and you'll be producing like 300 with a greenhouse imprint. You can see I've got 120% on those, and some higher over there, 120%. But with the greenhouse effect, you can produce like way more than you could ever need for any form of Deinonychus kibble. So literally your limiting factor here is Deinonychus. So having 30, 40 Deinonychus, mostly females, to produce you eggs is going to be how you increase the number of kibble that you're able to make. So what's next? Now, the only thing that you need to add now is this honey that we just have right next to us conveniently. and we'll just toss that in there. Now obviously you can see it'll start automatically making, and you can just never end your supply of extraordinary kibble. Now, if you really would like to add it here, you can also do Eutyrannus, but their eggs are quite a bit hard. I mean, I'd say they're more valuable, whereas Deinonychus are much easier to tame. That's all you need. You just need the Deinonychus, this farm method over here. You have, and notice how this is conveniently placed, the chemistry bench, because you want to be able to use your narco berries and just toss spoiled meat in there. This indie grill can be used to cook the meat for the actual kibble, and that's all you need. You can literally just keep pumping this out all day long. It's probably the easiest kibble to make, in my opinion. I don't know why people don't use this one just naturally. It's like my favorite by far because it's so easy. I just put way too much stuff in there. But you can see in the time that I started this video, I've got 4 extraordinary kibble. Usually you don't need that much, but this is how you make a very effective farm for yourself. You can set it up however you want. I just have mine out in the open right now. You can easily fit this entire thing in probably a 5x5 box. If you're playing a PvP, you can easily encase it. If you're playing PvE, obviously you can just have a setup like I have right here. It takes a few days to get going, but especially if you're playing on a modded server where you have access to a hatchery, then you can just leave your Deinonychus on breeding and you have just a never-ending supply of eggs. Now, also, obviously, you can use Eutyrannus if you really wanted to, or just go out and get wyvern eggs. That's also one way to do it, or rock drake eggs, or magma eggs. But I think it's easier just to be able to have the Deinonychus inside of your base and get your unlimited extraordinary kibble this way. It's not hard ingredients. The hardest part is probably going to be taming the beehive, and I think that's probably it. So again, limiting factors just are your Deinonychus, and then the beehive, and if you can't find access to a beehive, make sure you have rare flowers in them, otherwise they won't actually produce the honey for you. And that's all you need. So in the time that it started this video, I mean, I don't know what you guys like math-wise, but like I just made, how many kibble was it? 4 when I started this video? So you can probably pump out, depending on the number of Deinonychus you have, let's say you've got 12 Deinonychus, like 20 to 30 extraordinary kibble a day, which is pretty crazy. And the more Deinonychus, if you had 150 Deinonychus, you could have 300 extraordinary kibble. Taming would never be a problem again for you, and feeding things kibble could be your way of going about things. So anyways, hope this video helps you out. If you don't mind leaving a comment below, leave that like button. And again, it'd be awesome if you want to subscribe to the channel, and it would help out a ton. All right, Teach out.